Figure A, plasma drug concentration, time in hours 6, 12, 18, 24. A constant fraction of drug is cleared in unit time. Half-life is equal 8 hours, C0. Figure B, plasma drug concentration, time in days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half-life is equal 30 hours, dose interval is equal 24 hours. Loading dose, adverse effects, therapeutic range, subtherapeutic. Figure 2.4, at drug concentrations in plasma following single and multiple dosing. In figure A, in this example of first order kinetics following a single intravenous dose, the time period required for the plasma drug concentration to halve remains constant throughout the elimination process. In figure B, after multiple dosing, the plasma drug concentration rises if each dose is administered before the previous dose has been entirely cleared. In this example, the drug's half-life is 30 hours, so that with daily dosing, the peak, average, and true concentrations steadily increase as drug accumulates in the body, black line. A steady state is reached after approximately 5 half-lives, when the rate of elimination, the product of concentration and clearance, is equal to the rate of drug absorption, the product of rate of administration and bioavailability. The long half-life in this example means that it takes 6 days for a steady state to be achieved, and for most of the first 3 days of treatment, plasma drug concentrations are below the therapeutic range. This problem can be overcome if a larger loading dose, which is in red line, is used to achieve steady state drug concentrations more rapidly. Phase 1 metabolism involves oxidation, reduction, or hydrolysis to make drug molecules suitable for phase 2 reactions or for excretion. Oxidation is by far the most common form of phase 1 reaction and chiefly involves members of the cytochrome P450 family or membrane bound enzymes in the endoplasmic reticulum of hepatocytes. Phase 2 metabolism involves combining phase 1 metabolites with an endogenous substrate to form an inactive conjugate that is much more water soluble. Reactions include glucuronidation, sulfation, acetylation, methylation, and conjugation with glutathione. This is necessary to enable renal excretion because lipid-soluble metabolites will simply diffuse back into the body after glomerular filtration. Page 617. Drug excretion. Excretion is the process by which drugs and their metabolites are removed from the body. Renal excretion is the usual route of elimination for drugs or their metabolites that are of low molecular weight and sufficiently water soluble to avoid reabsorption from the renal tubule. Drugs bound to plasma proteins are not filtered by glomeruli. The pH of the urine is more acidic than that of plasma, so that weakly acidic drugs, example salicylates, become unionized and tend to be reabsorbed. Alkalination of the urine can hasten excretion. Example, after a salicylate overdose, page 225. For some drugs, active secretion into proximal tubule lumen rather than glomerular filtration is the predominant mechanism of excretion. Example, methotrexate, penicillins. Fecal excretion is the predominant route of elimination for drugs with high molecular weights, including those that are excreted in the bile after conjugation with glucuronides in the liver, and any drugs that are not absorbed after enteral administration. Molecules of drug or metabolite that are excreted in the bile enter the small intestine, where they may, if they are sufficiently lipid soluble, be reabsorbed through the gut wall and return to the liver via the portal vein. See figure 2.3. This recycling between the liver, bile, gut, and portal vein is known as enterohepatic circulation and can significantly prolong the residence of drugs in the body. Example: digoxin, morphine, levothyroxine. Elimination kinetics. The net removal of drug from the circulation results from a combination of drug metabolism and excretion and is usually described as clearance. Example: the volume of plasma that is completely cleared of drug per unit time. For most drugs, elimination is a high capacity process that does not become saturated even at high doses. The rate of elimination is therefore directly proportional to the drug concentration because of the law of mass action, whereby higher drug concentrations will drive faster metabolic reactions and support higher renal filtration rates. This results in fast order kinetics when a constant fraction of the drug remaining in the circulation is eliminated in a given time, and the decline in concentration over time is exponential. See figure 2.4a. This elimination can be described by the drug's half-life. Example: the time taken for the plasma drug concentration to half, which remains constant throughout the period of drug elimination. The significance of this phenomenon for prescribers is that the effect of increasing doses on plasma concentration is predictable. A double dose leads to a double concentration at all time points. For a few drugs in common use, phenytoin alcohol, elimination capacity is exceeded saturated within the usual dose range. This is called zero order kinetics. Its significance for prescribers is that if the rate of administration exceeds the maximum rate of elimination, the drug will accumulate progressively, leading to serious toxicity. Repeated dose regimens. The goal of therapy is usually to maintain drug concentrations within the therapeutic range. See figure 2.2 over several days. Example: antibiotics, or even for months or years. Example: antihypertensives, lipid lowering drugs, thyroid hormone replacement therapy. This goal is rarely achieved with single doses, so prescribers have to plan a regimen of repeated doses. This involves choosing the size of each individual dose and the frequency of dose administration. As illustrated in figure 2.4b, the time taken to reach drug concentrations within the therapeutic range depends on the half-life of the drug. Typically, with doses administered regularly, it takes approximately 5 half-lives to reach a steady state in which the rate of drug elimination is equal to the rate of drug administration. This applies when starting new drugs and when adjusting doses of current drugs. With appropriate dose selection, steady state drug concentrations will be maintained within the therapeutic range. This is important for prescribers because it means that the effects of new prescription or dose titration for a drug with a long half-life, example digoxin 36 hours, may be not known for a few days. In contrast, drugs with a very short half-life, example dobutamine 2 minutes, have to be given continuously by infusion but reach a new steady state within minutes.